Good evening, everybody, and welcome to another edition of Mansfield Town News and Views. Plenty to discuss tonight. We're going to be talking about the Harrogate game last night, which we drew 0-0, and also we're going to be talking about the transfer deadline day, which was an eventful one, to be honest, to say the least. And also we're going to be talking about.
Sorry.
And once again, joined with fellow Stags fan, John Fox. Thanks for coming on again, John. How you doing, mate?
Not too bad, mate. What a fantastic week it's been for Stags fan. All the transfer business and stuff like that has been very successful, and I've been very happy. But yeah, I'm good, mate.
Great stuff, mate. Great stuff. First of all, I want to talk about the Harrogate game last night, which ended at 0-0. Very hard-fought game, I thought. The first half, I think it was really uneventful for both sides, not much in it. And then the second half, it really came into life, both sides really having a go. And it could have gone either way with the amount of chances that both teams created. But as a whole, I think it was a good point away from home, to be honest.
Yeah, it's always going to be difficult to keep up for a winning mentality. But 9 games, in the ninth game, 9 games in, it's always going to be a tough ask to get another 3 points. So I think the point is, on the night, it's a fair result.
Yeah, definitely. Like you say, obviously it's going to come to an end at some point, but, we've kept that unbeaten run going, and a point away from home is never bad. Clean sheet. And yeah, we did have the chances to win it, but same for Harrogate. They were the same. They came close on a couple of occasions, and it's one of them. They're kind of like our bogey side, to be honest with you. Like they're so well organised, and they're one of them. They're so good on the break. So to come away from a point again, like I say, I think it's probably going to be one of the best points of the season, in my opinion.
Exactly, mate. You can't knock it. It's always a difficult fixture, especially away from home on a Tuesday night as well. But fair play to the 600 or so fans going down there, going to that game, because fair play to them. It's not always easy to get to games on the Tuesday night, especially if people got work and stuff like that. So fair play to each and every one of them. To be fair, because great effort taking 600 fans down.
Yeah, absolutely. Like you say, just on any Tuesday night game, whether it be away, home, just any time really, because obviously work and what have you. So yeah, absolutely. First comment, Coal Mining Man, good evening. 5 times we played Harrogate. What is it? We that team a point there? Yeah, it was. It was a great point. Like we've just said, obviously it's a difficult place to go to get a point, even though they have been in bad form. I thought, to be honest, they really matched us. To be honest, they made it hard for to break down. Again, well organised, and in the second half, it was a good game of football. To be fair, and as I say, we stood up to the challenge well. But on the night, just didn't have that enough quality that I think we needed to, get that clinical finish. But credit to their keeper and defence, because they made it hard for us to play in the conditions.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, they've always made they're a tough side, and to go up north, on a Tuesday night. I thought Nathan Bishop played very well and kept us in the game at certain points, especially in the second half. He played extremely well. But yeah, overall, I'm very happy.
Yeah, definitely. And, I don't know if you guys are the same. Let us know your thoughts in the comments below about the Harrogate game. If you think it was a good point or you think it's 2 points dropped, let us know your thoughts, as always, in the comments below. And obviously, the main topic that everyone's still talking about mainly is the transfer deadline day. Now, I can't remember the last time, as a Mansfield fan, the last good January transfer window we've had. I mean, we've said this before, it's always hard for players to get players in anyway in January, but to do it how we've done, signing Lucas Akins, Kieran Mullis, Longstaff, Murphy, to get them calibre of players in, it's just phenomenal, to be honest with you, and how the clubs managed to pay that off is fantastic business all around. And credit to everybody involved to get that caliber of player to come at this stage of the season. I mean, like I say, I don't think we'll have a better transfer window than that in January. To be honest, what's your thoughts on that?
Yeah, it's been a fantastic window, and I think I'm going to echo everyone's thoughts here. To get a Premier League quality player as Martin Longstaff, who just last year was playing for Aberdeen. Yeah, he can play in that central midfielder role, defence, and he can also play as an attacking midfielder. So it gives us that first versatility, and to get someone of his quality, we all know Sean Longstaff as well. Who were just linked with Man United. I know it's not for different players, but they obviously grow up together, and they're playing similar positions as well. So it can only be a good thing. And to get a player from his experience, how did we do it? Just simply how the hell we did it. I don't know. Hats off to
Yeah.
them.
Yeah, definitely. And we'll talk about the players individually as well, what we think on them as well, and obviously people can everyone have their say as well. Just going to get down to some of your comments before we carry on. Coleman, man, brilliant transfer window, Mark. Looking forward to seeing them play. And absolutely, I mean, like I say, the team's doing well as is now, and you can imagine what these players are going to bring to it. They're going to add to the competition. They're going to improve things massively. And this is a thing as well, because obviously last night there was didn't get signed in time, so they couldn't have played last night anyway. But like what I was saying to people yesterday is, you don't want to change a winning team. That's the biggest thing. As impressive players they are to bring in, you don't want to change too much, unless obviously results or injuries or suspensions, and fair enough. But I think against Colchester, I wouldn't be surprised to see a couple of changes, especially with Longstaff being eligible to play as well. So I wouldn't be surprised to see any of them starting against Colchester, to be fair.
Like I say, I can certainly see Longstaff as being a regular first team player, but it has surprised me because I didn't think that was a particular weak point in our squad. So to have had Matty Longstaff, he can only boost our already quality. Surely one of the best midfielders, midfield team in League Two. So to get a player of Martin Longstaff, who was only playing for Newcastle in 2020, he made I think about 5-6 appearances for Newcastle, but he has played in Newcastle United's first team. So
Mm-hmm.
to get, I don't know how he did it. I'm still shocked. He's just quality player.
It is, and this is the thing. I mean, when the rumour was going around that we was potentially signing him, I mean, I don't know about you, but when I found that out, I just couldn't believe it. I'm just like,
Mm.
no way a Premiership player, well, someone that's played in the Premiership is going to come down to League Two. But, it just shows you, doesn't it, though? A young player, hasn't played much football, but even so, to go against Man United twice, play 14 Premiership games, and then all of a sudden come to League Two. I mean, bloody hell. Whenever you ever known any League Two team to do that, I mean, it's just never happened.
To be honest, I would have thought he would have gone back into Newcastle side. He is quality, and yes, he's only young, and yes, he's only on loan. So there's every chance for him to do that. But to get quality, and hats off to JR as well, because it can't be a cheap transfer. It just can't be a cheap transfer, especially with his wages and stuff like that. We've got to be paying a fair whack, if not all of his wages. And he's still on contract at Newcastle, so it can't be cheap. So hats off to JR for that one, because without him, we wouldn't have done it.
Well, I mean, I don't know this for certain, but obviously, like you mentioned there, his wages at Newcastle would be obviously in the tens of thousands. So I'd imagine Newcastle, to my knowledge, would be paying the bulk of their wages because we couldn't match their wages. You know what I mean? We just couldn't match their wages. So it's one of them. Obviously, I'm guessing he could have just they'll still pay his wages while he plays for us because we couldn't match that. You know what I mean?
Right.
But but yeah, like I say, we'll talk more about that as well. Evening, Craig. We have made some good business this month. Come on, you Stags. Yep, absolutely. Like I say, we're going to talk about more players alongside Longstaff as well, but he's the main one that we just can't believe we've managed to pull off. And, just to see him in a Stag shirt is going to be immense. And like what Nigel Clough said last night after the Harrogate game, he's one of them players that would have, potentially changed the game because he's a game changer, and again, he adds to an already impressive midfield, to be honest. But that's what you want. You want that as a manager, competition for places, and to get a player of that calibre in, it's just phenomenal, and it's only going to add to the promotion push.
Yeah, exactly. The only disappointing thing where I know we've got Wallace in is we didn't sign another centre back. I think that's where position now, looking back at our squad and on paper, is probably where we need a bit of backup, especially we're fine for attacking players with quality. We've got up front, Lucas Hackins, experience, Burton being top scorer as well. To get a player of his quality. Jamie Murphy, established Scottish Premiership player, who was in form last year, and yes, he's 32, is he, something like that. But again, he just has experience. His very qualities will help the likes of your Reece Otis and for younger players around him. Your Laws and those type of players who will thrive from their experience, I think.
Yeah, that's it. I mean, you mentioned obviously about centre back, but I think Kieran Mullis can play that role as well. And when you think about it, we've got Farron Rawson now, that's back from his suspension. And obviously James Perch, he's another player that still probably can't play a full 90 minutes just yet, but I think we have got options there that we can work around that area. So, but yeah, it's one of them. I think we're more than capable of coping with injuries or whatever you like with the players we've got. Let's get down more of your comments, guys. Just bear with me a second. Evening, Jeff. Hi, guys. Only just joined you tonight, but having a Saturday off will help us recharge the batteries for the tough away fixtures in Feb. Yeah, absolutely. I couldn't agree more. I mean, you think about it, Saturday, Tuesday, it's going to take its toll on the players. And you could tell as well yesterday, especially in the first half, how knackered the players looked to me. They're just fatigueness of it. And, so to have a break, to get the players training as well, having a few days off will, benefit as well for the new players as well. So yeah, I think it will benefit this squad massively. To be honest, what's your thoughts on that?
Yeah, I think we've got a squad now to deal with those fixtures effectively. We've got a right balance of and numbers, to deal with the demands of League Two now. I do generally believe that, with this side, there's no reason why we won't be able to push for those automatic promotion spots or playoffs. But yeah, we've got the right type of players, and now we've got a great mixture of youth and experience. Throughout the squad. And we've got if Nigel has brought in the right type of player, we will all be playing for each other, and that's what we need. We need that unity, and to battle through them Saturdays and Tuesday games.
Well, yeah, and the beauty of it is, we've just got like a good mixture of youth experience, players that have been there, done it, and obviously we're in such a good position now. I think we've got 2 points from the automatics now, and again, unbeaten in so many games. So, like I say, we're just everything's just looking so positive at the minute, and again, we're going to take some beating. We're going to really take some beating, to be honest with you. So, yeah, it's fantastic business. It really is. Let's have a look. Coal Miner Man. I think Newcastle letting Longstaff come to Stag stipulates that he plays regularly. Well, yeah, I mean, that's the other thing as well. I mean, obviously, they're going to want their players to play. Like every loan club will naturally. But like I say, I think he will start on Tuesday night against Colchester, and I think it's one of them. You've got when you bring a player of that calibre in, you've got to start them. Surely, you know what I mean. If they're available, if they're fit enough, then you've got to put them in my opinion. Like, because other than that, why would you bring them in? So you've got to start with players like that, really.
Yeah, I don't necessarily like this idea of we're bringing in loan players with a guarantee of starting, because that doesn't help the squad, because it just knocks one of the position potential playing positions for the first team. So to bring someone on a guarantee basis wouldn't be, for me, it wouldn't be right, because everyone's fighting for those spots, and and our midfield, especially our midfield, is packed already. So people are going to be challenging. So for Nigel to bring in and say you're guaranteed a spot, yes, it might benefit the player, but will it benefit the team? I don't know. I'm not so sure, but nevertheless, it's a great signing.
Well, the thing is, as well, obviously Nigel, will have got the right players in, like you mentioned. Obviously, managing the players right, and it's one of them. Whoever is signed, the players know the roles. They know it's going to take time to get in the side, but it's one of them. Look at Lucas Akins, for example. The amount of experience he's got, and he's not even starting games yet. So it just shows you, doesn't matter how experienced you are, that you're not guaranteed a place. And like I said earlier on, if it's a winning team, don't change it. Don't If it's not broke, don't fix it. So you don't want to change too much unless you have to, obviously. But it can only add to competition, and it can only benefit us. Let's have a look. Steve is on 24k a week at Newcastle. Well, that's what I mean. We're not going to be able to match that. So, for my guess would be Newcastle would still pay his wages, and that would just be that. Really, I don't see anything other than that. To be honest with you, not with the money Newcastle's got.
Yeah, I do think just how much a bigger chunk we are paying, because even if we pay, say, 10 grand a week, it's still a awful lot of money especially in League Two. So it just makes me wonder how much we are actually paying, because how we can afford even close to 10, 15 K is just an unreal amount of money for League Two, and I think it's nearly unheard of to pay someone that much in League Two. So Newcastle have got to be paying a good size of that wage budget, because there's no way we can even afford half of that.
Yeah, they've got to. Simple as that. Because, like you say, we're not going to do that. No League Two team's going to do that. It doesn't matter if you're Salford, Bradford. No one's going to do that. No one's going to pay that much money. I don't care who you are. Definitely not. Let's get down to some of your comments. Evening, Richard. Good point away last night, and the signings in the transfer window are fantastic. A great statement of intent in our promotion push. Yeah, it is, absolutely. And again, we've talked a lot about Longstaff, obviously, and a brief thing about Akins. But, keeping John Joe O'Toole was another massive thing as well, because we didn't know, obviously, if he was staying or not. We've managed to keep him on for the 2.5-year deal. Kieran Mullis, we've seen him play a couple of games. He came on yesterday, and I thought he played well last night, to be honest. He put himself about. Had a couple of attempts on goal, and he's another versatile player as well that can play in a number of different positions. So, he's another one that can do a job, and obviously Murphy as well, who's again an experienced striker and a winger. So, again, just all over the pitch, we're just covered in pretty much every area, really. So, again, it's going to be exciting to see these players not only get in the side, but to show what they're made of, and if they can live up to the expectations, then there's no reason why we can't make the top three, to be honest.
Yeah, exactly. I will be bitterly disappointed if we don't even reach playoffs after this season, after the amount of money he spent. He's clearly going for it. I think someone put in the comments that we're going for it. Yes, we are going for it, because we need to. We need to just look how many years Jay Hart has been investing in us, and he's got little or no return. So and I know he's a Stags fan, but at the same time, it's got to be, we've got to show him some, love back, so to speak. So this is a team that will get us into League One, no doubt.
Yeah, I don't see why not. And again, as we know, it's a tough league, obviously, and there are a lot of teams that you could say the same thing that have invested a lot. And again, it's going to be a tight one. But again, I think with the manager we've got in place, been there and done it with Burton, Derby, Sheffield United, and Nigel Clough, the players. Some of them obviously achieved promotion, had good careers in football. Just that good mixture of players, really. I mean, when you, because obviously selling Harry Charlesley was a bit of a shock, really, to a lot of people because even though he wasn't a regular starter, he just started to show a bit of form, and then all of a sudden he sold to Port Vale. But to replace him with Matty Longstaff is, all due respect to Harry Charlesley, it's a massive upgrade, isn't it? You know what I mean? It's a big
Yeah,
it's a big upgrade, and that's no disrespect to Charlesley, but it is. It's such a big statement of intent on what somebody said.
you can see why Charles Lee did, move on because there's no way, he would even, be close to, to that type of quality. But I can see why he wanted to move on and fight for first team football, which is fair play to him. I have nothing against that. I wish him well. He did a job for us while he is. But we need these type of players to get us into League One. We need experienced League One players. Lucas Aiken. Again, you talk about versatility. You can play all down the right hand side. He can play up top as well. He's quick as well. For his age, he's really, he's quite quick. So I've got nothing, and no doubt I think he will be a first team starter eventually. I don't know how match fit he is, but it's just our team starting 11 is just so strong now.
Yeah, it is, and I mean it's just amazing. Like we've said before, the transformation to see this team to see where it was a few months ago, and now we're talking about being in the automatic spots, which again we're so close to that, and again we're 19 games to play. It's just a huge chance for us. Steve, best squad we've had for years. Hashtag go for it. Yeah, absolutely. Like I say, it's this year, this season, should I say? I can't remember the last time with a squad of players and the quality that we've had. And obviously, the last time we had this, obviously, it was under Flitcroft, and obviously, we came close in that season, obviously. But with this team, we've just got so much more quality, I feel, more dimension, more versatility about us, which I don't think we had enough of, in my opinion, because, obviously, when you look at it with under Flitcroft, we had Tyler Walker getting the goals, but I didn't feel as though there was anyone else really getting in with the goals, really. But this time you've got Lucas Aikens there, Ollie Hawkins, who can play up there. Danny Johnson, for example, we've not even seen the best of him yet, so we've still got him to come and do a job. So you look at the bench of players you've got to bring on. So if it's not working in the 90 minutes, you can bring someone on of that quality, like your Lucas Aikens, or someone to change the game. So just all over the pitch. It's the strength and depth of the squad. It's just, again, if we don't get promoted with this squad of players, it's just, you've just got it with the players that you've got.
Yeah, I cannot honestly see how we don't get promoted. If it's not if it's not this season, it will be definitely next season. And I think if Nigel don't get us promoted, then is his job on the line? With the amount of investment, he surely had. But I'm not thinking that far ahead of that negativity. But I just think, Nigel can't say he's not had the backing because he has. This is well and truly his squad now. He's had 2 windows now, 3 windows maybe, to have a real impact. And yeah, it's clearly showing. He knows what he's doing. 8 wins and a draw. Isn't bad. Isn't bad by any stretch of imagination. And a break now is pretty much coming out for the right time, I think.
Yeah, it does. It does, and you'd like to think in that time, the players can not only rest, but they can just have that much needed space where they can work on things in training, perhaps, and stuff. So it brings players together as well when you do that. Sometimes I feel. Ashley, evening, Ashley. And I'll hope all is well. Yes, brilliant. Thank you yourself. Isn't it weird when yesterday was a great point against a bogey team, but with the run we are on, it's made to look a little like 2 points lost. It just shows how far we've come. And it does, because I saw people after the games, being so disappointed, saying, "Oh, have we not won it?" It's like, well, we haven't lost it. You know what I mean? And it's one of them. It could have gone either way, because in the second half there was one point where we came close, and then straight away up the other end they hit the crossbar, which, to be honest with you, they'll probably think, they've not scored. To be honest, it was that close and that. So it could have gone either way last night's game, but again, a point away from home's never a bad result. And it was one of them. We did have chances that we could have got the 3 points, especially Bowery, from being so close. But sometimes you've got to say credit to the other team. They defended well, and same with the keeper as well when called upon, both keepers. So I think a point was a fair result for both sides. But yeah, like you say, it just shows you how far we've come, where we're kind of turning around and saying, well, have we not won that game? Rather than saying, oh, well, I'm amazed we're drawn that. So it just shows you how it's changed. But it's good to see that.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, it's. I think he's brought in players who know, who know League One, and obviously that's where our aim is now. And we've got squad in depth to deal with things like injuries and stuff like that. And I think we need to use this time off now wisely. Yes, give the players a few days off or whatever, but don't let them relax too much, because we need to go back in it, and we can't switch off. We just can't switch off, and there's got to be a fine balance, and that's where you earn your money as a manager, because what do you do? Let the players have 2, 3, 4 days off, and get back on it, maybe with a behind the closed door friendly match, or something like that, just to keep that match mentality up. And I think that's probably the best way to go about it, is probably do a behind the closed door match type thing, get that willing feeling back in after a few days off, and just not let the players switch off.
Yeah, that, as well as I think having such a small squad, it does bring players together, because when you've got a big squad of players, you can have such an unrest in there, and when players aren't playing, and it can sometimes affect things as well on the pitch. But I think we've come so far now. I don't see the players just like lacking from anything. I think they'll just be determined to keep it up, if anything, and with the new signings that we've made, that will make the players compete more for not just competition for places, but just all around, just keep giving it their all, because Nigel Clough's not going to have any player at the club if they're not giving 100%, because I think they'd have been out the door by now, or they wouldn't be signed. So I don't see that happening per se. He doesn't come across as that kind of manager to let that happen. And again, there just doesn't seem any bad eggs in the dressing room. It just seems like everyone's on the same page. Everyone knows their role. If you're not going to work hard for the team, then you're not going to play. It's simple as that. And that's why, in my opinion, I think we've got such a good chance.
Yeah, exactly. I think everyone. This is the first squad Stags team I can think of. Who's properly working for everyone and working for the manager as well, because there has been points in Flintcroft's managerial reign, Steve Evans' manager, Dempster's manager, where players haven't been working for their manager, and it was clear to see. And I just think, I can't think of anybody who won't work for Nigel Clough in this squad, because it's his team, and I think there should be no excuse for him not to get us promoted. We're all working together. Fans love the team. Fans will back Nigel and the team 100%, like we have done all. Pretty much, barring that bad one we had. We've been fully behind Nigel Clough, but there's what a turnaround since days where most we would be fair to say we've been calling for Nigel Clough's head to where we are now, and what a massive turnaround.
Yeah, it is, and it just shows you sticking by a manager does can turn things around. But obviously, some clubs just haven't got the patience to do that now. I mean, a couple of defeats and you're out of a job now. You know, as we know, especially in this league. I mean,
Oh, yeah.
it's so brutal now. Like, and
What,
you
what,
know,
what? I know they're not in this league, but Watford springs to mind.
well, yeah, Watford and yeah, definitely. I mean, that's it. It's crazy.
Yeah,
It's crazy now. But anyway,
yeah,
that's football for you. It's such a
yeah.
crazy game. But yeah, let's get down to some more of your comments, guys. Evening, Ben. How are you? And good, thank you. And I think we're going up this season with a good side. We've got also we're a good side. We've got having these new signings, I believe, in our team up the Stags. Yeah, 100%. Just so much positivity, like we've said before. Not only with the new signings that we've made, just as a whole, these past 9 games, we've just been such a force, to go on an 8-game winning run, club record. No one would have ever seen us doing that this season. I don't think any Mansfield Town fan could have seen that, especially how we started the season. But it just shows you, what it can do, not just by sticking by the managers, but believing in the players as well, giving them the chance to turn things around. So again, just credit to the owners as well as David Sharp for not pulling the trigger as well, just sticking by him. Because there was a couple of people, questioning whether or not we're going to do anything under Nigel, and here we are now. So it just shows you, why he's been successful and he has in the past, because obviously he's had similar runs at Burton, as well as at Derby, and he's managed to turn it around. And you look at the foundation he's put in place here for the club. So again, it's just the club's just going in the right direction on and off the pitch.
Yeah, exactly. I just think, I was one of those people who didn't think the system was quite right a few months ago. So I've eaten my hat. I'm quite happily admit that. I'm glad I was wrong. I don't like any manager seeing their job, but you can almost tell whether things work out, and pretty much from 2 or 3 games in the season, you can almost tell. But the way. To be fair, the way we were playing at the start of the season, and midway through the season is completely contrast to where we are now in the league. So, I'm glad I was wrong, and I'm glad he's still our manager, because it just shows a little patience will get you a long way.
Oh yeah, it's same with the players as well. I mean, look at Elliot Hewitt, Jordan Barry, just to name a couple. They were really poor to begin with, but credit to them. I mean, Elliot Hewitt, in my opinion, been the most improved player in my eyes. He's just really has come such a long way. Every game, he just seems to get better and better. Jordan Bowery, another player, puts the shift in, like we know, popped in with a couple of goals this season. So the players, once again, they've also turned the corner as well. A lot of them have as well, so they deserve massive credit for that. Big time. Let's have a look at more of your comments. Call man, think this month we have some really tough fixtures. It's going to be hard, even with the squad we have. Plenty of hard work needed. Yeah, it does. After the Colchester game at home, we've got a lot of away games, like you say. Bradford being one of them, among other games. So, yeah, it's going to be a tough test for us. But these are the kind of tests, though, that you want to come through. And if you want to get promoted, these are the kind of tests that you need to overcome. Because in previous seasons, we've obviously always faltered at it. We've never managed to rise to the occasion. But now with the squad of players that we've got, yeah, it'll be tough. But at least, in my opinion, we're more equipped now to deal with it with the players that we've got, I feel. What's your thoughts on that, John?
Yeah, sorry, I was just agreeing. I was just agreeing with you. I couldn't agree more. We've got a tough fixture list coming, especially in February and March. We've been lucky where we haven't really been affected by COVID, but the teams we were due to play, were, and the fog at Forest Green didn't help either, because that's a game we will have to play again. So yeah. That's why we've got the squad depth we have. Nigel knows this, and he's probably ready for any injuries or any niggles that, that might come up. Don't forget COVID's still a real thing. So, COVID unfortunately could affect us, but we've got a squad to deal with all that.
Yeah, we have, and like I say, we're more equipped now. I feel as though as what it was under Flitcroft, and that's not taking away anything from that squad because obviously it was a good squad of players we had under Flitcroft. But I just feel though comparing the squads, I feel as though we've got just that bit more quality. I feel, and that's the only thing I think that we perhaps liked at the time, in my opinion. Let's get down more of your comments, Steve. The new players will put a couple of hundred extra on the gate at least on Tuesday night, 6,000 plus, I reckon. Hopefully, Steve. I mean, like I say, the club's doing everything they can now. They've signed quality players, they're getting the results. We're in such a good position now. So, and I think a lot of people are recognising that now. I think a lot of people are back in the club now that perhaps wouldn't before. But it just shows you what a good run of results can do. So the club's doing everything they can on and off the pitch to try and get the success now. And I think fans are seeing that. I mean, the home attendances are picking up now. Five and a half thousand last week, I believe, and it's only going to keep growing if we keep on getting the results. And that's again the bigger attendances. It just shows you how together the town is, and it's just great now going into town now and just seeing a load of more Mansfield Town shirts rather than your big Premiership sides. I love stuff like that because again, when you've got a local town, when everyone's supporting a local team, this is when really it helps the team massively. I feel.
Yeah, it does. I think it's great. And, even if we keep up these attendances and keep growing, there's a chance they might finally do something with Bishop Street. You never know. But if we keep if we keep backing the squad, for creating the atmosphere, I generally do believe we have the uh, best fan base in League Two, or one of the best fan bases in League Two, because you can rock up to one call stadium or Field Mill or whatever you like to call it, and you can talk to literally anybody. You can literally talk to three, four rows behind you, and they'll talk to you back, and you can literally have a conversation with everyone and anyone
Yeah.
because we all have one thing in common, and that's Mansfield Town, and that's what makes us so great. And if we can just keep that going, show that level of support, then the world is well and truly our oyster.
Yeah, absolutely, mate, and that's it. And this is what I mean. It's like we're building as a squad now, and again, it just shows you because it just reminds me of when Nigel was at Burton. Smaller, team, and obviously smaller club. In terms of facilities and budget, and look where he got them. So I don't see why we can't do what Burton did. To be honest with you, and they was up against it more than what we was. There were no pressure on them to do anything, and they ended up doing it. So, and I think, all due respect to Burn, we're more equipped than them to do it, and I think, we've got the right manager in place to ensure that we can get over the line and just go that step further this time.
Yeah, exactly. I think he's done incredibly well. I'm proud of him. I'm proud of our position in the league. It's been one hell of a season so far, and I just think we are in terms of Burton and Mansfield, we are like chalk and cheese because Burton had all the financial troubles. They're a small town. I was originally born in Burton, so I know the area, and it's a working class area like Mansfield Town. But they've got real community spirit like we have as well. But
Yeah.
at the end of the day, in terms of our finances, we're in a much better position than Burton Albion. I think, with all due respect, they probably ever will be. And with the continual backing of JR, this is why I keep saying how lucky we are to have someone like JR and his wealth into Mansfield Town. Then we can even push beyond League One now. In the next 5, 6, 7 years.
Yeah, absolutely. Like I say, we've known this for a few years now. We're built off the pitch now. We've got the training facility, like we say, the plans for a potential hotel in Bishop Street, and so it's just on the pitch that we need to be focused on, like we've said. And now that we're doing that, if we can go that one step further, then again, who knows where it can take us, to be honest. Jeff, looking at our fixtures over the next few months, it's a really tough run in with the teams around us. It will go to the wire, and hopefully not. We will go on a bad run. Flitcroft, do you think we are in a stronger position to cope with this? Yeah, I mean, we mentioned this earlier, didn't we, about how the squad of players can cope. I think when you look at the players that we've got, I want to say yes, because I think we've got that good mixture of youth and experience that have been there, done that. And I think we're just a bit more versatile. Like, we've got players that can play in a number of different positions, and I think even with the running that we've got, yeah, it's going to be tough, like we've said, and it's going to be a tight running. But I think again, we're the position that we're in now, the players that we've got. I think we've been more than fine to cope with it, to be honest with you. Because even if we do get more injuries and suspensions, which no doubt we'll get, I think we've got players that can come in, do a job, and like I say, we've seen it before. With the likes of Ollie Hawkins, for example, having in playing in defence, he's managed to do that. And Lucas Akins, he can play fullback or if need be. So I think we're more than equipped to deal with that. Should we run into any situations? What's your thoughts, John?
Yeah, I think a massive point Nigel wanted, and I think he said it in a few of his past interviews. He looks so versatility in his squad, and he's got that in abundance. We've got a real team spirit. We've got players fighting for each other. We've got players who can play everywhere on the pitch if needed. I would have liked to see a centre back in January, but we have got players who will play there. So I'm not too concerned. We've got we've got a great squad depth now. So yeah, there's no real reason why we can't push up.
No, absolutely not, mate. Like I say, I think we're more than capable of doing it, to be honest with you. I think we've the other good thing as well, not just the players, but like even the formations. There's a number of different formations that the players can play as well. So should we need to change it up a little bit, I think we can cope with it on that side as well. Should things not be going right as well on the pitch. Jeff, the fans at home have been fantastic. Home and away, Saturday was awesome. Yeah, it was. It was all season. It's been great, even when we haven't. Even at the start of the season, even when the results wasn't as good, I still think the support's been there, especially last night as well against Harrogate on a Tuesday night. A long journey on a Tuesday evening, and the support, it was just packed out. And I think that's going to be the case for the rest of this season. And yeah, the support's always been there. I feel it's just the results haven't been at the start of the season. But yeah, it is. It's phenomenal. There's a real buzz about the place, and home or away, you can bet your bottom dollar that the Stags faithful is going to be there cheering for the full 90 minutes.
Yeah, I've been so proud of our support recently. We've been so passionate. It's great. Mansfield and the whole, like you mentioned earlier, the whole Mansfield community has got a real buzz about Mansfield Minute, and Nigel has certainly delivered. And it'll be interesting to see who he does see as his starting 11. I know we've got players who can easily be in for starting 11, but what we might think will be the starting 11 is, of course, what could be different too, because you could see both Lucas Ekins, Jordan Bowery, and Jamie Murphy as well. You could see any of those players but there's only 11 in the team, obviously. So it's going to be really interesting to see what is his starting 11, just going into those fixtures.
Well, that as well as, it's such a good headache to have as a manager, having that much quality. And like I was saying earlier, if it's not working in the 90 minutes, then you can just look to the bench and you've got, like I say, Akins, Johnson, Murphy, Longstaff. There's just quality of abundance there. And
Mullis as well.
Yeah, so just to look at the bench and bring quality on. again, just to have an impact sub if you like, and again, it's amazing to have that. Let's get down to some of your comments. Evening, Paul. 5 brilliant signings in January. Transfer market was really surprised on the last day to get Longstaff and Jamie. Social media and Twitter went into meltdown when Longstaff signed. Even other fans in League Two, Newcastle fans on Twitter, were in shock. I think we're still on hard, to be honest with you. Like, I mean, I think you've got to pinch yourself to see if you're dreaming or not, because it just blows your mind to see how we've managed to pull that off. But it was only purely because of David Sharp. He got contacted late on about it, potentially him coming on loan, and Newcastle, credit to them as well for allowing him to come down as well. Because he originally was on loan at Aberdeen, but he wasn't getting first team football there, which I don't know the situation at Aberdeen, but how they couldn't be playing a Premiership player at that level is beyond me. All due respect to him, but it's our loss in our game, to be honest with you. So whenever he does come into the side, wherever he starts or come off the bench, he's going to be a real impact for the team. But yeah, it was quite insane, because I didn't think it would be quite a deadline day like it was, to be honest with you. I didn't expect it to be as quite dramatic as what it was, and but anyway, it's definitely the best transfer window we've had in January. I don't think anything can match that, in my opinion. It's going to take some beating, that is, to sign the quality that we have in January, to be honest with you.
Yeah, I couldn't agree more. I think this is by far the best January we've had in a while. It certainly feels like that. It's probably for one of the best windows, full stop, we've had in a while.
Yeah.
Summer or January. So I just think we've got to be proud of this squad. We've got to click now, and we've got to work hard on it. It will be definitely see who's going to make it into first team, and who's that cool. And I just keep thinking about it, because we've got the quality players, and like someone just said in the comments, Stanley Johnson is another one who's not had much luck recently, and is he going to lose out even more now? We've bought in two or three more attacking players, so. And yeah, of course, James Perch, he feels like a new signing, almost, from his injury, and it's good to see him back. And and with all these players coming back from injury at pretty much at the same time, and I think Nigel alluded to this in his interview, in one of his interviews. We've got players coming back from injury. Everything's just seems to falling into place.
Yeah, it does. And again, it's all, like I say, everybody's on board with everything, and whoever comes back, whoever comes into the team, it's just basically they've got to do the job, because if they don't, then they're going to be out of it. So everyone's got to be performing, and that's what you want. You don't want players thinking, I'm going to start a game every week anyway, because there's players that easily could take the places and that. But as a manager and as a fan, you want that, and I'm sure the same for the players, because it motivates them more as well. But yeah, big time. Thomas, I think Oates is doing really well too, and that's helped us a lot. And I hope Nigel stays with us, as he really fits in our team. Yeah, Reece Oates, he's been, without a doubt, one of the standout players of this season. Just not because of his goals, but just how direct he is, how much he just gets stuck in and involved. He kind of reminds me a bit of Matt Reed, but just a more fitter one, and that gets himself about in a way. He doesn't. He's like your old-fashioned centre forward. He just gets involved. He's in your face kind of player, but that's what I mean. He's one of them players. He's so ideal for League Two. He just gets himself in there, puts himself about, and. Lucas Akins, he kind of reminds me like that as well. He's of a player that's like that as well. Big physical player, nightmare for defenders to deal with. So yeah, they're similar players really. But yeah, Reece Oates, what an improvement he's had.
Oh yeah, I think I know we're only in beginning of February, but players like George Morris, I think again for me personally, he's been one of the he's took his chances. I know he had tough start, but he's another player I think who's coming to his own, and I hope he doesn't suffer from the midfield overload we've got and stuff like that. But we'll see. We will see. Danny Johnson, I think we'll hopefully get more game time, or I don't know if the loan window's shut now. Is it too late for him to go out and loan until the end of the season? But that's an option. But yeah, sorry, mate.
Just going on about Danny Johnson there, it's obviously he's another player that's obviously scored goals for fun at Leyton Orient, and it just shows you how strong this team is when you can't get Danny Johnson in the team, and that again just says it in itself, and that's a good thing to have. Not so much for Danny Johnson because he's not playing, but again, there is 19 games left to play, so if obviously, say, if Reece Oates gets injured or Barry, then there is a chance that he can still play a part in this season, and so there is still plenty of games where he can come on and still do that. So I wouldn't rule anything out in that respect. Obviously, he's got to be patient with it, like he has been doing. But again, there's still another option to bring on. I mean, a lot of people are saying that we might as well just sell him or loan him out, like you mentioned there. But again, it's a good player to have when he's got goals in him. But no, I still think all it takes is a couple of suspensions or injuries, and then he gets himself a chance in the team. And so there is still plenty of games for him to feature, and hopefully he does. Paul, and it's also nice to see James Perch back in the Stag shirt. Oh yeah, it's massive. It's again, that's like you said earlier, it's like a new signing in itself. Nobody expected him to kick a ball again this season, and then a couple of weeks ago we get told that he's medically fit now. And it must have been really nice for him as well, not having played any football for a few months, and even though you're coming on for a few minutes, just to have that ovation as well, that must mean a lot to a player. You've not played at football for so long, and then especially at his age as well. I mean, this would be a big thing as well if we did get promoted, because this would be such a good way for him to retire as well, with a promotion on his CV as well. But yeah, he does. He adds to an experienced centre half.
Yeah, he does, and I think it's so good to see him back. He's obviously a fan favourite and stuff like that. He has worked his socks off when he was fit, and it must be horrible to suffer like a long-term injury, because you start doubting yourself, don't you? Mentally and stuff like that. So to have a standing ovation, that he received was so heartwarming, because he deserved it, I think, to overcome that as quickly as he did. It's so good to see him back.
Yeah, it's massive, and again, it not only just for the squad, but just for everyone around the club, really, just to see him come back from that is it's phenomenal. And credit to the medical staff and just everyone involved in that, really, because he's going to be such a big player for us in such a busy period of games, really. Coleman, man, with amount of goals Johnson scored at Orient, surprised no one came in for him. Makes you wonder if there's a problem with him. Well, this is it. I mean, it's an interesting one because, obviously he got that injury a couple of months ago, which kept him out for a couple of months, and then ever since he's not featured much. So it's a tough one, to be honest. I mean, obviously with San Lucas Akins, Reece Oates, Jordan Barry's been doing well, so I think they've obviously been keeping him out of the team because of how well they've been doing. But like I say, there is still a good player there, and again, it does make you wonder, like you say, why he's not started many games or even come off the bench for the last 20 minutes or so, to be honest with you. But, he's another player that still can make an impact for the club, should Nigel start him and that. But, yeah, he's another one of them players that we haven't seen the best of, unfortunately. But hopefully he still finds time, to be honest, because, again, it's always good to have plenty of options up front.
Yeah, it is. Yeah, it is, and I think options we've got, especially like I said earlier, central midfield. The midfield area, the wings, and up top. We've just got to look at the quality we've got now. We've got Reece Otis, who's a game changer. We've got Danny Johnson, who's got goals in him.
Yeah.
You've got Lucas Akins, who's got goals in him. Jordan Bowery, who's fast and rapid, and having a fantastic season so far. So we've got quality players. We've got Jason Law, who's coming on recently. We've got all these great attacking players who will do a job for us, and it's going to be so exciting to see them in action. And it's great to see we're attracting those caliber of players at Mansfield.
Yeah, it does, and again, it just shows you how far we've come as a club. And people are like what Ashley said earlier on, when you're kind of complaining that you've drawn a game and not won it, and that just shows you how far we've come. And again, like I say, we've got this break now until Tuesday, so it'll give the players time now to have a rest, as well as work on things in training, and for the new signings to bed in a bit more as well, give them the chance to work with some of the players as well, and obviously get to know the other players. So, yeah, like I say, it's going to be a tough run in. Colchester on Tuesday night, that's going to be another tough game. They're fighting to stay up. I think they will stop up, but even then, they'll still want to try and make sure of that. But again, I think all over the pitch in every area, I think we're more than capable of being able to manage it out and keep on with this promotion push. To be honest with you, I think compared to when you look back at under Flitcroft, I just think we're more versatile than what we was before. So when we do get injuries and suspensions, I think we're more than capable of being able to deal with it.
Yeah, we are. We're in a better position. With all due respect, and when David Flitcroft was in charge, certainly in a bit better position since John Dempster. So this is the best squad we've had in years. Probably since that. I know it's not the same, but since that promotion back into the football league, that type of winning mentality. That's what I mean. I know we're different quality, but this is a real good factor. I've got real, we as a team, it's a good feeling, and I think, especially with the team mentality, and that's important. And I think I can't see any reason why we can't get promoted this season.
Yeah, no, definitely not. And again, when you think about it, I think we're going to take some beating. To be honest with you, I think it's going to take a real lot to beat us. And these kind of games, when you've got a tough run in, like I say, these are the games that you want to see how you can test yourselves. And when you can rise above that, then that's when the real teams get promoted naturally. So. Yeah, there'll be a big test for us, but I think we've got more than enough in the tank to do it.
Yeah, we have.
Excuse me, Colchester got to be 4 home win 4-0. Coal miner man. Yeah, I mean, like I say, I think again we've got enough firepower. The quality that we were brought in, I don't see it being anything less than 3 points. But the one thing you want to do as well. Obviously we're full of confidence, but you don't want to kind of be too overconfident. I think we've still got to take each game as it comes, obviously, despite how well we've been doing. I think you've always got to be grounded. Don't look too high, just keep yourself level, grounded, and just take it game by game, if anything. But yeah, I mean, it's another big chance for us to extend the unbeaten run. We're more than capable of doing it. And I just hope as well, even though it is a Tuesday night, I do hope the attendance it will be a decent size, because again, this is where the fans really need to keep on getting behind the boys, because this is the best position that we've been in as a club now for a few seasons. And again, with the squad of players that we've got, it's as good a chance as any to get promoted.
Yeah, exactly. It's the best chance we've had in years to, yeah, well, since especially since that playoffs campaign under DF. But yeah, this is the best chance we've had in a long time.
Yeah, definitely. Just a brief one on Colchester. Then we're just going to do a brief prediction before we go off. So, what's your prediction for the Tuesday night game against Colchester?
I can't see nothing but a win with all due respect to Colchester. We've got new signings coming into the squad who are available. It's under the lights at Field Mill, and I'm going 2-0, 2-0 Mansfield Town.
Yeah, I'll join you on that. I think, I think hopefully we'll keep another clean sheet now. We've managed to keep two in a row, and I think clean sheets is important as well. I mean, I'm not saying it's going to come down to this, and I hope to God it doesn't, but, they are important to keep, clean sheets, especially with goal difference as well. So hopefully we can get another clean sheet. But yeah, I don't see it being in the Mansfield of anything other than the Mansfield win, to be honest with you. And again, with the new players, like you mentioned there, if they start, which potentially they could, then I think we've got more than enough again to get over that test and to keep this unbeaten run going.
Yeah, can I just have a special put a special mention out there for Nathan Bishop? What a magnificent keeper and season he's having. He's a quality keeper, and are these the kind of signings what will convince him to sign on maybe for another year next season? Because I think he's a part of the puzzle we need, and he's put he's a quality keeper. He is a sensational keeper, and I want him, between our sticks for a while. But especially this season, he's having a really good season.
Yeah, it is. And again, when you bring a keeper in, I mean that's another thing as well. I mean, obviously to bring a keeper of that calibre again from a big club like Manchester United to come into League Two, I mean, it's an amazing feat. But yeah, he has. I mean, I don't think this is too much of a stretch to say, but I think he's been the best keeper we've had since Murray, in my opinion. He's just absolute quality. For the age that he's at, the amount of saves that he pulled off. I mean, last night, for example, the one-on-one save that he made last night against Harrogate, the way he come out of his box, put himself about. He's saved us that many points this season. He's definitely a player a contention for player of the season, in my opinion, definitely.
Yeah, he is. But then again, we've got so many
Yeah,
players who are in that position already. Who are we going to choose as fan player of the year or player of the year? It's just. It's going to be. Can't we just pick the whole 11?
yeah,
The whole squad because they deserve it. But who would you? Who would you pick in that?
yeah.
And it's just an impossible task.
Yeah, well, I mean, obviously, that's a conversation for the end of the season where hopefully, touchwood, we will get promoted. But just a brief one as well before we go off. Just another talking about keepers, Marek Steck deserves a bit of a mention as well because say he's not played, well, he hasn't played any part of this season, but for him to, get behind the lads, cheer on the lads after the full time whistle, it's great to see that because he could easily be down, moaning to the manager that he's not playing, but for him to be, just cheering the boys on from the bench and that, it just shows you, even the players that aren't playing, they're fully behind the lads and. It must be hard as a player when you're not playing week in and week out, obviously. But when you're urging the players on, it just speaks volumes for the guy. To be fair, because a lot of players wouldn't react like that.
No, I think that just shows the type of squad mentality we do have. Everyone's fighting for each other, even those who not perhaps not getting the games. And I do want to see these players are happy and enjoying their time at a club, even if they're not playing, because they're still being paid quite well. But you can tell that's not what it's all about.
No.
Steck, is probably enjoying football in the reserves or whatever. I don't know how it works, but you can see he's happy to be in and around it, isn't he? So yeah, I don't blame him.
Yeah, it's great. It's fantastic stuff. Last comment of the night, coal miner man. Promote more family tickets for West Stand, not just Corey Lane. Let's mill out. Yeah, 100%. I mean, I'm not sure if the club will do that, but it would be great for them to do that. Potentially, just put more offers on, like you say. But I mean, the attendance is picking up to what it was earlier in the season, obviously. But yeah, it would be great to see that as well. Obviously now that we're in such a good run, and the club, you'd like to think they could do that, or maybe kids for £1, maybe like that offer that we had a couple of seasons ago. But again, I don't know if the club would or not. But yeah, just anything to get more fans in, really, and just get behind the lads is it's just the best time to really do anything like that.
Yeah, I agree. I don't think the club, will be looking into that in high. I think it's fair for everyone at the minute. Potentially its sticking point is the match day prices. I'd like to see them, just across the board. You don't need to change on match days. Just stick them at the same price. You still get people, paying it. But at the same time, that's a discussion for another time, I think. But yeah, I think the only sticking point for me is the match day prices.
Yeah, big time, massively. But yeah, thanks again, John, for coming on tonight. Appreciate you taking your time out, and thanks again, everyone, for tuning in. Really appreciate you getting your thoughts on that in the comments. And again, I think, to be honest with you, I just echo from what everyone's been saying. Really, it's such an amazing time to be a Mansfield Town fan, and long may that continue.
Yeah, exactly.
Let's just hope we can keep this momentum going up for as long as we can. And yeah, it's going to be a long one. It's going to be a long. Well, it's going to feel long. Obviously, with 19 games to go, but yeah, if we can keep it up, this unbeaten run going as long as what we can, and let's get another winning run going, and let's just go for the automatic spots, really, because again, we're all kitted out for it. We've got everything in place to be, so let's do it.
Yeah, I couldn't agree more.
So yeah, thanks again, mate. Appreciate you coming on.
Welcome.
Like I say, guys, take care, everybody. Enjoy the rest of your evening. Enjoy the rest of your week, and I'd say enjoy the rest of your weekend. But and let's hope we enjoy the rest of the Tuesday evening when it comes around as well. That's the most important thing. But that's what I mean. We've earned a break now, so let's just put our feet up now for the rest of the week now, knowing that we can get ready for Tuesday. Because as fans, it really does take it out of you after a bit as well, because you just go into the games all the time, and it'd be nice for us to chill out, I think, for once.
Yeah, exactly. As much as I love going to Phil Mill. But there's no place like going back home after being out in the freezing cold, fogged up from watching Stags. But come wind, rain or snow, I'll be up for when I can. I'll be at Field Mill. So so. But yeah, I like coming home as well.
Yep, same, mate. Thanks again, everyone. Speak to you all soon, and let's hope when we next talk, we'll be talking about 3 more points. But yeah, thanks again. Cheers.
Cheers.